Views and opinions expressed in this production are those of the individual and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Shooters Nation or our sponsors. Information provided on this show is not a replacement for legal counsel or professional training. Listener and viewer discretion is advised. This is especially true on live shows.
Welcome to the Shooters Nation podcast, the show created for you, the armed citizen. Join our hosts and subject matter experts as we talk about guns and gear, practical training and knowledge, Second Amendment issues, and the firearms culture. Be sure to join us after the show at shootersnation.com and become part of the Shooters Nation.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Shooters Nation podcast. I'm your host, David Yancey, coming to you from our studios just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm joined again by my co-host, Mark Lancaster of Squared Away Customs in New Hampshire. Good evening, Mark. How's it going, man?
Good evening. I have been battling a little bit of a SHOT Show crud for the last few days, my sinuses and my head, but feeling better today, so that's good.
It's the shot flu or whatever they call it.
I've heard it called the HIV. The SHOT Show HIV. Crud. All sorts of different things. But
I mean,
it's pretty hard to get away without it.
Right.
It really is.
Well, it's legit, right? I mean, you bring a bunch of people together from all over the country, and they've flown there in metal tubes, full, very close quarters, coughing, hacking, wheezing, sneezing on each other.
Yeah.
And then they wander around a giant conference for
it's all the handshakes, and it's like you can sanitize as much as you want, man. It's everywhere. You know, it's a challenge.
My gosh.
But I didn't get it bad this year. I have some friends that are pretty dang sick. So
oh man. You would think that any company that sends folks to SHOT would know that the folks they send are going to be out sick for a week or two when they get back. That's got to be
having 2 weeks off. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of like the upfront cost of SHOT Show is we're going to send you and you're going to come back and you're going to be a convalescent for a while. So that's awesome. Well, so you've been busy. You've been traveling a lot. It's cool to have you back. I'm glad to have you. Missed you.
Yeah,
that sounds weird.
No, I mean, I definitely can feel the void when we don't do the show. That's for sure. And through the holiday season and now beginning of January, me doing some traveling and stuff like that, that's definitely been the case. But yeah, it was a good show and I got a lot to talk about. So
cool. Well, we'll get into it. I guess before we get on to all that, I'll take care of the business up front. We want to remind everybody that you can connect with us after the show at shootersnation.com. That's where you can send us feedback, submit ideas for future shows, sign up for our News Blast mailing list, and join the Shooters Nation forum, which is kind of a new thing. That's all free. You can do that at shootersnation.com right now. You can also follow us on Instagram as at Shooters Nation Radio and on Facebook at facebook.com/shootersnation. While you're on Facebook, be sure to hunt down and sign up the Shooters Nation community. That's where you can interact with us and other listeners and some of our guest subject matter experts, the same as you can on the Shooters Nation forum, except you have to do it by Zuckerberg's rules. And if you like what you're hearing, you can help support the show and make future episodes possible by becoming a Patreon patron at patreon.com/shootersnation. A lot of P's there. And you can help support the show for free, 100% for free, by leaving us a positive review on iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcasts, YouTube, etc. Actually, I'm going to say this. You can support us by free another way that we really want you to do, and that's tell people about us. Tell your friends, share out our shows, share it out on social media, tag us in posts. Join our group, tag us in posts on social media, on iTunes, or not iTunes, on Instagram, on Facebook, stuff like that. But spread the word, help grow the audience. The more, the merrier. So, okay. So I'm kind of wound up, man. I'm sitting here. I've got a glass full of water, shot full of Strike Force energy drink. I'm about to bounce off the ceiling, and then sitting next to it, I've got about 2 fingers left of 4 roses, small batch. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah. Are you doing anything this evening, or are you just trying to?
I have a glass of Long Trail Unearthed.
Long Trail
which
Unearthed.
is a bourbon barreled stout.
Oh,
Vermont Brewery. It's
awesome
good stuff.
Yeah. Man, winter is like the best time for beer. It is like that is the best beer season. Period. Hands down.
Yeah.
Dark stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of dark. Yeah.
I had to take a bourbon break.
Did you? Okay. Yeah.
It was the drink of choice in Las Vegas for 8 days straight. So it is now taking a little hiatus on the bourbon.
That's awesome. Oh man. Well, I am committing myself starting tomorrow, starting February 1. I am going to really, truthfully, no joke, try to adhere to the carnivore diet. And my oldest daughter, my second oldest child, my oldest daughter is getting married in summer, and we've got some trips coming up this year, and I'll be at the NRA convention, NRAM, the NRA annual meetings in April. A lot of things like that. And I thought, I really want to go do this things, and I want there to be less of me when I do it. So carnivore diet, that's a thing. Really going to just be eating a lot of meat, and I've seen people do it with great success. So we'll see how it happens for me. But beer, off the menu for me, because carbs, right? It's just gone. I have to pretend like it doesn't exist. I have to pretend like I don't like it. It's gonna be sad. But bourbon whiskey is allowable in moderation, right? So, I'm trying to think. I was really sitting here trying to recall the quote, the Parks and Rec quote about clear alcohols being for women on diets or something like that. And I thought, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. So, all right. Well, a lot's been going on since we last recorded together.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to talk about SHOT Show, and I'm anxious to get there, but I wanted to talk about a couple of quick new things. Since we recorded the first show of the year, I picked up a SIG P365, and I don't think I've spoken about that on the show yet, but I
think you did, though.
Did I? Okay, I had to eat my words.
Yeah.
If I didn't speak about it, I'll just kind of blaze through it real quick. I had to eat my words, man, because I thought there was no reason for me to actually have one of those since I had a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9.
Yeah.
Until I held one and shot one, and then realized that the trigger was fantastic, and it feels like a bigger gun in my hand when I shoot it. I don't understand it. I really don't. But that's cool. I like it. It's worked its way into my rotation for like really discreet carry.
Yeah.
I have been ordering for years and years and years and years a product that I don't think you guys make anything like this yet at Squared Away Customs, but it's almost like a taco holster, but it's made for your pocket, right? So you drop it down in your pocket. And a guy over in I'm not even gonna say because I'll get it wrong. Anyway, the company is A Holster, so like the letter A holster, like you're going to buy a holster,
like a holster,
a holster, right? And I think I want to say that the gentleman's name is Alan, and that's probably where the A came from. But yeah, it is like a holster. But he. I've been buying these things for years since way back in the day when I carried a J-frame revolver in my pocket, and he makes one for the SIG P365. So finally able to carry that. Used it today to go to dinner with the family. Just dropped it in my pocket. Didn't really feel like being carrying a full size handgun of any sort. So carry the 365 and really, having shot it now a couple times at the range and seeing what I can do with it and how well it shoots for me, I didn't feel underarmed. So I'm pretty jazzed about that. One that came completely out of left field for me. I mean, like this was nowhere on my radar at all, period, until maybe the past 2-3 weeks. FN 509 midsize. And our mutual friend and former show guest, Francis Marion, he was kind of throwing seeds of, sowing seeds of encouragement, like, hey, these things are really cool. You ought to check them out. So when I saw it, it's the size of Glock 19, almost identical, like an M&P 2.0 is or whatever else. Everybody is going after the Glock 19 business, right? Now that was kind of a theme at SHOT Show from what I saw too. But anyway, it's the same size, but it's got like this weird feature set that is almost like the best of a lot of guns that I like. It had the slide, like the leading face of the slide is contoured like a old HKP 2000. It's got that bevel on there, and or like the new Glock Gen 5 guns. So it's real easy for reholstering. It's got really good serrations on the front and rear, kind of like a HK VP9 does. Almost like an HK VP9 like a rib along the top of the slide, which was kind of neat. That wasn't like a feature that I needed or missed or anything, but it was kind of cool to see it. But then the gun itself, man, the way it fits your hand and the texture on it, kind of like like the CZP-10 seeds, chunky texture. It's got that on the front strap and the back strap, and then it's kind of like the MMP 2.0 texture sort of on the top part of the side panels, and the whole thing works together really well. I'm stoked by this gun. I hate to say it, but I man, I've said this numerous times before about other things, but this might be the one that this might be the one. She might be the one for me, Mark. But
yeah, I didn't love the trigger on them, but
yeah,
some don't mind it, and I
it's heavy.
It didn't feel as I like a very clear and distinct wall.
Oh, really? No.
I didn't feel like it had that as well.
Now, have you tried the 509M, the midsize?
I've not tried the M. I tried the full size when it was released at NRA in Houston last year.
Okay. This thing's got that. It's got that wall. It's got that wall like a Glock trigger does. And it's got a really short, very crisp reset, which is, the kind of thing that you and I like from the Glock platform. The weird thing about the trigger is, at least only one time for me, it has pinched my finger. Like I could feel it pinch the skin, and it's the way that the trigger hinges in the middle. And I can't verbally describe this. Listeners, you'll just have to take my word for it. It's done it to me. I hand it to my wife. I hand it to her like 3 or 4 days after I had it. And like in the evenings, I've been sitting there on the couch dry firing it, and not once did she look at it and go, "What's that? What's this new? Where did this new gun come from?" Right? So I hand it to her. I was like, "Hey, try this out." So she tries it and she hands it back. She goes, "Man, it pinched my finger." And I was like, "Oh, really?" So she looks. She goes, "Yeah," and then she goes, "Wait, what is that? Where did that come from?" I don't know. I've had that forever, right? No, I didn't lie. I told her. I got it, a couple of days ago, and she shook her head, like, she's given up. She knows, things are going to show up in the house, and but so she liked it, I guess. But she says, she every single time that she shoots it, I guess, she doesn't have calluses on her hands like I do, but it pinches her hand. I love the way the thing shoots. It shoots great for me. It shoots just as well, just as naturally as a 19. It was like an old friend. I picked it up, I shot it. I was like, wow, you feel just like a 19. So anyway, I'm kind of stoked about that one. I put an order in. I've got a holster order. Corey will see that come across his table at some point. So,
oh boy,
yeah.
So what does it offer you that a 19 doesn't?
The ambi controls, you said 19, so I was thinking about like the MFP 2.0. The 2.0, for whatever reason, Smith & Wesson lost their mind, and the ambi controls on the slide release don't work well for a lefty. Now it's weird. I've got one MFP 2.0 that is works really fine for a lefty. I've got others that just don't. What it offers that a 19 doesn't. Grip texture, I think for me, grip texture is a big one. Out of the box, it probably has the best feel in my hand without modification. Like, my Gen 5 19 that I've had worked over by Rocket City Stippling, feels just as good, if not better. But out of the box, this thing feels good. The other thing that it has is at the very bottom of the grip in the palm swell area, it actually protrudes past the magazine base plate. And it kind of rounds off, and it breaks up the silhouette of the gun under a shirt. If you have a shirt that's kind of snug or whatever.
Kind of like a bobbed 1911.
Yeah, kind of like a bobbed 1911 does. Or, I've seen bobbed, Glock 19s and stuff. I think Larry Vickers with Wilson Combat did or maybe it was Tango Down. He's got a grip plug for the 19 that kind of does the same thing. So it does that. There's a good argument that it doesn't do a whole heck of a lot else beyond that. And I'm just a whore for Glock 19 sized guns, right? Mm-hmm. It does a lot more for me than the SIG P, or not the SIG, the CZ P10C did. The P10C frustrated me. This thing does not.
Wait, you didn't like the P10C?
Have I ever talked about that on the show? No.
Oh, yes, you have. We don't need to go there again. It was been a while. But,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like poke a button there and make me go off on a rant.
Yeah.
I think it's a good platform. I think it's a good option for people that, for whatever reason, the Glock 19 doesn't quite do it for them, and they want some. They're looking for something else. I honestly like it better than I like the MMP 2.0, which that was surprising to me. When I bought it, I got it at such a good price. I felt like if I didn't like it, I could sell it and easily break even or make money. And after I held it and shot it for a little while, I was like, man, this thing's not going anywhere. I'm going to hang on to it. So I'm pretty psyched about it.
Do you think that the texture is good enough that you want to alter it?
Yeah, I do. I don't really see me altering the texture on it.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of surprising. I've seen some of them that have been worked over by, stipplers like, Wayne Hammer and guys like that, and they look really good. But I don't think I will. I don't think I'll mess with it. The only thing that I've done to it, and probably all I will do to it, I put some Trigicon HD sights on it because I wanted the bright orange front sight. Mm-hmm. The factory night sights were the luminescent style where you have to charge them up with a flashlight or a light source. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a big thumbs down because the way I carry it's always covered. It's never gonna get sunlight or anything like that.
See light, yeah.
Yeah. So the one thing that was a little disappointing about it, the contour of the trigger guard in the proximity to the pick rail, Surefire X300 is a tight fit on that gun. Like you have to use the universal latch on the X300, not the, you definitely wouldn't want to use the Glock style latch, but using the universal latch, you shove it on the rail and you actually have to push it in hard. And when you do, you can see that the back, like the battery cover where the actuator switches are on the X300, it kind of nudges down. So the lens of the light is slightly uphill, just ever so slightly, like a degree or two up. And it's just, it makes a nice tight fit. The light doesn't move or rattle or anything. Even on like the 19 I've got in front of me right now, there's a little bit of movement, ever so slightly, on my X300. But on the FN, it is tight. Anyway, yeah, I like it. I don't know, pretty jazzed about it. We'll see how we feel about it in another month or 2 or 6 months or whatever. But how about you, man? You got anything cool new lately personally?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, you've been at SHOT Show.
So. Yeah, I really haven't gotten anything. Yeah, I haven't. Not a thing, but I've been bouncing around a little bit. So soon though.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Got things in mind. It sounds like. So, oh no, I see the business card you're holding up on the screen. Mm-hmm. That I'm jealous. It almost breaks my heart a little bit, but all right. So do we want to say the words on the show?
Yep. Spell it.
All right. So listeners, Mark just stabbed a dagger into my soul. He held up the Archon Firearms business card. So
The Type B.
The Type B.
Yeah, I got the range day, first day of SHOT Show, industry day at the range. And like I was kind of sad faced for half the day because I'm walking and it's table after table after table after table, and I would say probably a half a mile of tables.
Oh,
right?
good Lord! That's a good range day
to shoot. Oh yeah. So the very last one was them, and I was like, yes,
right.
You know? And I got up there, and he's like, stick a mag in it. Let me see what you think.
Oh man!
And I shot it quickly, and I shot it really well. And then I put another mag in it, and I shot it quickly, even quicker, and shot it even better. And I'm just like, boy, this thing is awesome. And it kind of reminds me, like, if you were to do a cross between like an agency or a customized Glock, and a CZ,
right,
with a striker fire, because the slide you get such a high grip. The felt recoil is little to nothing. The grip texture is phenomenal. I like the shape. I like the size. My big hands fit on it perfectly. I did 40 rounds through it. It just ran like a champ, and I shot it really well, super accurately.
So you guys are going to be making holsters for it, aren't you?
Yeah, and I forgot how much. I've been so much RMR shooting. I forgot how much it was really kind of a pleasure to shoot sights. Again.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I felt that with the 509 because no RMR there, so it was nice to go back to irons.
So I had a long talk with them, and I'm gonna get in on the next batch.
Nice.
And get one shipped to me.
Heavy sigh.
4 mags.
Yeah, right. I mean, I'm looking at one right now. So let me stop. The reason I'm sad is because, before the show, before we start recording, I was telling you about a project that I've got going right now. I've got a box of parts laying up, behind me on the floor. I'll talk about that in the future. It'd be a good thing. I want to go into it now because that's good content for later. But I will have in that project invested about the cost of the Archon, or how do they pronounce it? Are they Archon or Archon? Archon. Okay. Yeah. I saw yesterday, no, it's today. I saw this today on Instagram. One of the guys I follow, Grim CMV, dude from grayhive.com. I don't know if you're familiar with him. He just picked one up. He posted a picture of his, and it's got the 4 mags and the lock and the pen that comes with a gold ink pen or something, for marking targets, or I don't know what it's for, and then the gun. And so what's interesting, you said that it fits your hands well, and you're a Glock 17 guy because you got big mitts, right? This is a Glock 19 sized handgun almost, right? It's kind of about the size of a 19, isn't it? But it fits your hand well because it's got that super high grip on it. So
you can get so high up on the gun that my hand wasn't hanging off the bottom like it does on a 19.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, but not even close. I would say it's kind of like right in the middle of a 17, 19.
Right.
Because it's a little bit longer than a 19 too.
Okay.
And in it, if you measure slide for slide, I bet it's close to the same size slide as a 17, but more of it comes behind your hand.
Right. It's
like
got
the
a big
beaver
overhand.
tail section. If you look at it, it like overhangs like almost 3/4 of an inch over the top of your hand in the back.
I'm stoked. Yeah. So if you guys start making holsters for them, oh man, I know what's going to happen long term. See, this is it. We've already spelled out the doom of the 509 midsize for me. We've just, the 509M better enjoy its honeymoon period.
That's why I'm here tonight.
Right. I love it. My wife's going to hate you, but no, she won't. Anyway,
it's such a cool piece.
They're really cool. Here's what sucks about the Archon. It looks like nothing else that I own, right? I can't sit around the house dry firing that for a week and it go unnoticed. That will be an immediate, what's that? So, yeah. All right. That's great. I mean, I was hoping that you would get your hands on one of those and shoot it. And everybody else that shot on social media was just raving about that gun. So, yeah. All right. I'm sad but excited and happy. I'm in a glass case of emotions right now. I don't know. I'm gonna have to deal with this. All right. So, I want to talk about SHOT Show, but first I want to mention this, and this is kind of interesting. This is noteworthy news from the industry for the listeners. Just to keep you savvy on what's happening out there. Last night, Wednesday, January 30th, Noveski posted on social media that Shopify, the online e-commerce platform which powered their website and web store, has canceled their service, quote unquote, ahead of schedule. And the exact statement from Noveski was this, quote, "Please note, Shopify closed down our site today due to their dislike of the Second Amendment, slightly ahead of schedule. We are very sorry if this has caused confusion. We have an amazing new site we've been working on for months, and we can't wait to show it to you soon." I was not entirely surprised that Shopify had done that to them. And I had to go back and Google why. And you were talking about this a minute ago, Mark, too, before we recorded. But back in August of last year, 2018, Recoil Magazine posted an article about Shopify's, what they called their war on firearms related businesses. And folks, I'll try to drop this in the show notes so you can go read it for yourself. But basically, Shopify had released a new gun unfriendly acceptable use policy, and it impacted a lot of firearms centric businesses and big names like Spike's Tactical, Franklin Armory, Harry's Holsters, Big Tex Outdoors. I went through this garbage with them. Black Rifle Depot, the list goes on and on and on. But basically, their new AUP, the acceptable use policy, referenced restricted items, their term, in quotes there, and it kind of like included anything firearms related. It was so open ended, and this yanked the carpet right out from underneath Noveski's web presence. You went there today, and all you see is kind of like a splash page that they threw up to tell you how to get hold of them. You can email their sales force directly because you can't buy anything on their website. But kind of sucks, man. I mean, it's that war on the Second Amendment, but this isn't political. This is, the government's not telling these people to do this. This is, big businesses, financial and e-commerce businesses are, yanking.
Well, I mean, it's kind of political, right? I mean, it's because of their left-leaning stance on gun control.
Right. Yeah.
And obviously it's probably an ignorant stance. They probably don't really know what they're trying to control. They probably don't realize that you're not actually buying the gun online, that you still need to do a background check.
Right.
All this is probably escaping them, and they probably think that the gun show loophole is really such a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of these things. And I think that's the big problem with most of the anti-gun left that I have encountered, is that they just don't know the truth.
Right. Right. I talked about that a little bit on the last episode, and how we can reach across party lines to, try to start a new conversation or restart the conversation with people. And if they're going to be anti, at least let them come from a position of educated, informed, personal experience. Right. I think you're right. I think this comes from ignorance. I'm a big proponent of individual rights. Like, I have a little bit of a problem sometimes with the folks that want to be able to carry a firearm anywhere they want to go on other people's private property. And I'm one of those guys that kind of believes that where my rights end, yours begin, and so on and so forth. Right. I don't feel like I should be able to step on somebody else's rights because they have the same rights. And I guess that's kind of a libertarian, streak in me. But, in my state, as with a lot of states, you can post a business or, your private property is, firearms not allowed. And I struggle with that because I think, well, as a permit holder, as a licensed concealed carrier in my state, I want to be able to take my gun wherever I go. Without it doesn't do me any good. It's kind of like leaving it at home. If I'm just going to leave it at home, why even have the thing? So I want to be able to carry it with me. But at the same time, I think about my own house. And if somebody wanted to come into my house with a gun and I wanted to say, no, you can't do that, you need to leave it outside, I feel like I should have the right to say that to them. So, private property rights kind of come into play there. And I struggle with that. So anyway, I kind of look at e-commerce providers as a business that I guess they should be able to make that decision if they want to. And, we don't have to like it, but I feel like we have to respect it. And I'm glad that there are still other alternatives for people to use. I think you mentioned Big Commerce or whomever, right?
I think where the problem lies, the biggest problem in this is that they were warned and then they're nuking these pages ahead of schedule.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was slowly getting that.
That's where I have a beef.
Yep.
If you want to be a scumbag about it, that's how you be a scumbag about it.
Right.
This is how these people, feed their children.
Yep. Exactly.
And that's where I have a problem.
100% agree. I was getting there very slowly. That's me too. I think that, for them to say that we don't want to allow this kind of business on our service, that's one thing. But to just go ahead of schedule and pull the rug out from underneath somebody that's, like you said, that's their business, that's their livelihood. That's dirty pool, and really sucks.
It's bad enough that you get all of the loss of the time, because people know that building websites a pain in the neck, but it's really never ending, and it's always in process. It's always changing. I can go in and spend 7 hours working on the website, and my wife, who built the majority of it, can go look, and she won't see what I've done. You know what I mean? There's so much detail and so many things places to make changes. And it's just so, if my website got nuked, I would probably literally cry. I would lose my mind. Yeah. I would consider throwing in the towel. I would not want to start over again. That would frustrate me to no end. And I think that would be the hardest part for me, is forget about all the political, forget about all the left, right, this, that, my rights, your rights. Having to start over. Yeah. Sounds exhausting.
It'd be the same as having a brick and mortar store, and you lock up, you go home one night, your store's there, all your inventory's there. The next day you come in and, the landowner bulldozed your store down. It's like, thanks, man. I, appreciate that. That was my livelihood that you just destroyed. So, it sucks. I feel for the Noveski folks. I hope they get it, their new site up and running soon. It's ugly. I think unfortunately, we'll see this kind of thing play out time and time again. Maybe we'll talk about that some other time, about just the weird thing that's going on in the financial industry right now. And I think that's what worries me, is if I've got options and you close down, I can go to your competitor. But if there's some sort of movement going on that there is no competitors for me to go to because everybody's on the same page, it's almost like a monopoly, then I'm screwed. All right. That's depressing. I'm going to go look at another picture of that Archon Stryk-B, and then that'll make me happy again. So SHOT Show, man, let's shift gears and talk about something happy. You were there for a week plus.
I was there. Yeah. So I ended up leaving early because there was a big snowstorm coming to hit the Northeast, and it looked like my flight was going to be canceled. And then sure enough, it was canceled. So we ended up leaving a day early.
Okay.
So I ended up being there from Saturday to Sunday.
Wow.
Just over a week. Yeah. And I definitely got my SHOT Show on, that's for sure. So it was a really great show, super productive for me. It's nice to, as always, catch up with all my friends in the industry that you get to see only a couple times a year. But yeah, it went off without a hitch. I came across some products that I was looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
And then what I almost get more excited about is products I had no idea existed, that are small, that nobody will ever know about unless you tell them, type of thing.
Right.
And I came across a few really cool ones like that too. So cool. I don't know if you just want me to
man. I guess
knock them down.
Yeah. Would it be, how does it work best for you? Is it best to kind of work through the week, day by day, think about that way, or what do you want to do?
Yeah. And I have a stack of business cards, and that was kind of going to be my trigger.
Okay.
A stack, I've collected of things that I wanted to talk about, and I was going to use them kind of as a trigger. I think that's, I can't remember which day was what, that's for sure. They'll kind of meld together a little bit,
Right.
But so off the top of that, starting at a really great product for a super low price point with a small business that I think is super awesome, and I'm really excited to support, is a company called McClean Corp, MCLEAN Corp,
okay.
USA. actively serving in the military, and he manufactures a really, really fantastic 2-point, single point transitional sling. He's a small business. He's making a great product with a very cool, it's kind of got like a deployment hook to go from the 2-point to the single point.
No kidding.
And it has this like one loop where you grab it and you pull forward and it releases your sling to be loose. It loosens up your sling. And then without adjusting your grip, rather than pull forward anymore, you pull back like away from the rifle and it detaches the front.
Oh, wow.
So it transitions into a single point that quick. Super great thing. Super great sling. The price point, I've got his price point card here. Retail dollars on the standard colors is $64.99.
This is this the dynamic retention sling? Is that what they call it? The DRS?
Yes.
Okay. I'm only smart because I Googled that. So
yep.
Yeah.
It's really a great product. I was super happy to meet him and had a good conversation with him. And the price point, I mean, you can't beat that for a quality made sling.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I was really happy with it. I liked it a lot.
I have a project that I'll need a sling for soon, so I'll look him up.
And it's cool, he's doing that kind of thing on the side, and he's active military.
No doubt.
So supporting him is cool.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
And then shortly after meeting him, I met another company called TDS, Thermal Defense Solutions. This is a little bit of an oddball, but it's a very neat company, I think. And they are 3D printed suppressors.
I saw something about that today. Are they in Arkansas? Is that right? Jones? Is it
Tennessee?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So they've got the Bantam and the Badger and those things. Talk about that, because I just saw enough today to get my interest up.
So they're super lightweight.
Right.
They don't get hot like a metal suppressor would.
Okay.
They're really rugged. The decibel ratings are fantastic. The only downfall to them is they're direct thread only. But they are super quiet. I feel like this is an early stages thing, and I'm kind of planting seeds so people can look out for this.
Yeah.
I feel like they have some growth to do, and some maybe some changing of some. I don't want to say that there's anything wrong with them, but I feel like this is early.
Yeah.
And I feel like a year from now, what they're going to be able to do is going to be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to start seeing a lot more companies pop up doing this kind of thing.
So yeah, they're printing these things out of Inconel alloy, which is really cool. And by 3D printing, they're able to create a structure inside that is unlike anything you can do by milling and all that stuff. So
or multiple pieces. Yeah. I shot it on a 308 bolt gun. I shot it on a 300 blackout SBR, and I shot it in a full auto M4.
No doubt.
And they are really quiet.
That's really neat.
Like I have one of the lowest decibel rating 5.56 cans.
Yeah.
On the market with my Griffin Rec E5.
Okay.
And these were like noticeably quiet.
Yeah.
Quieter. So
man, 3D printing of metal is going to be an amazing thing to watch over the next few years. It's just really neat. They're already using it in like the medical field to 3D print, like surgical implant devices and things that are custom made to a person's body, and like hip replacement, knee replacement parts and things like that. But this is really cool because of the intricacy, and that's why they're doing it for that, is because they can make really intricate shapes that you couldn't machine otherwise. And these look cool. What about the fact though that like what I was seeing was, since it's direct thread only, if you have a baffle strike, you're kind of hosed on this thing, I think, right?
So what they're telling me is because it's direct thread, you have no room to have a baffle strike.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So it can't go on crooked.
Right.
If you're cross threading, you're cross threading.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like it's going to go on straight. I guess the only way you would ever have a baffle strike, and I didn't mention this to him because we were kind of running short on time, but like I would think would be maybe an ammo problem.
Yeah.
Like if you had like not a squib, but basically a squib into your can.
Sure, yeah,
right? Like it doesn't make it all the way out and it catches a baffle.
Yeah.
Like it's going slow or was loaded improperly or something.
Yeah.
But that's, yeah. But what he said is that with a direct thread, you're far less likely to get baffle strikes than any other type of attachment method.
Man, these things are, I mean, they're super lightweight too. You know, super lightweight. So
bonkers lightweight.
Yeah, that's neat. All right. Yeah, it's exciting. We'll have to, I'll throw that in the show notes too. Some people over to take a look at it.
Yeah. Another one that's pretty neat is a company called Faxon. They make barrels.
Yeah.
They have some new Glocks and some new M&P slide work that they're doing. Pretty cool. They have some great barrels, pretty neat. But one thing that I saw that they had that will be great for our listeners in Jersey or New York or Massachusetts or Connecticut or California, maybe Illinois, is they're producing AR barrels with muzzle devices milled into the barrel.
Oh,
so it's not
removable.
Not threaded.
Yeah,
it's not threaded. It's not a removable. It's literally CNC'd into the end of the barrel.
Smart.
Yep, and
very
they
smart.
look really great. It's kind of unique looking, right? Because you have an AR barrel, you always have it stop, and then you have a thread, a crusher washer, and you have the muzzle device screwed on there.
Right.
And even if it's not screwed on, it's pinned and welded. You still have that look.
Right.
But these, they're sleek and slim, and they look fantastic.
That's cool.
And the price points are great on them too. So for you in the states that can't have the threaded stuff, that is definitely something to look at. Too.
Man, I love it when people do that. You know, you invent a better mousetrap, or the government thinks that they do, and then a smarter mouse comes along. You know, so
improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yep, that is very cool. All right.
So another one that I don't know if I've ever mentioned, but I had a great conversation with them. I've been a follower of their product for some years now. Is LOWA Boots.
Okay. Yeah.
They make some fantastic outdoor boots, like hiking boots, hunting boots, military boots, so on and so forth. I stopped by their booth and had a great conversation. Had a pretty interesting warranty claim with a pair of boots with them this year.
Oh, no kidding.
Boots were 5 months out of warranty. I called just for grins to see what they would say, and they overnighted me a new set.
Wow.
But I had a great talk with them. And I have the Zyphers, I think they're called.
Okay.
Zephyrs, something like that. But they're absolutely like, if there's like a go-to set of footwear that I enjoy, it's them.
No kidding.
You know what I mean? Like
I've heard they're really popular with the guys that are going over into Afghanistan and stuff and having to trek up and down the
well,
the
that's
mountains.
what turned me on. Is a friend of mine, James, has done quite a few deployments, and he is still wearing a pair that he's worn on 3 deployments.
Wow.
He's like, dude, they're expensive, but they're worth it. Like, spend the money.
Right.
And then I wore them for 9 months, and I wore a weird hole in a weird location on them, and I just kind of threw them in a corner. And months later, he asked me, he's like, how'd those boots do? And I was like, honestly, I wore a hole in them. And at that point, they were well out of warranty. And he's like, dude, just email them. Huh. And it was like 2 emails, and I had a tracking number on a new set of boots.
Wow.
So amazing warranty. And these new ones the replacements have been going for a long time, and they're just so comfortable and super good support and great boots.
So what do they have at SHOT again? Well,
they just had a booth, and I just stopped there and talked to them, and I had a card here, and it just made me want to mention.
Yeah, no,
if you're looking for any good shooting, outdoor, hiking footwear, you spend a little bit, but man, they are super quality stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I've read on different websites where high speed guys from that have been doing tours of duty in Afghanistan come back, and they rave about certain products that have served them well, and LOWA boots get mentioned a lot. So it's not a cool kid thing. Not saying go buy boots to look like a cool kid, but I'm just saying, that's pressure tested, right? When you take it over there and you beat them up on that loose shale and all that other garbage, and they hold up well, and then it's worth noting. So very cool.
Absolutely. And then another company that I think I've talked about on the show before is Stryk Industries.
Okay.
And they do like such a wide spectrum of pieces and parts for this industry, from from mag extensions on the Glock 43 to handguards to sight mount systems to stocks. They have like the only PDW stock. That
oh
you push a
yeah.
button
So this is
and
the same. This is the same Stryk Industries that does AR platform components, right? Handguards and stocks and trigger guards and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Very cool.
Absolutely. I'm pretty good buddies with the owner, Garrett. He's a great guy. He's kind of a mad scientist. He's got a billion projects in the works. His mind is always racing. Can't slow him down. Can't stop him type of guy.
Yeah.
And if you look at their spectrum of products, you'll totally see that. From sling mounts to, like I said, mag extensions to muzzle devices to handguards to sight systems. I mean, they do literally, they've got their fingers in the grip panels on a 1911. You know what I mean?
Right,
like all sorts of things. They find little things that need fixing and they fix it. He actually designed a mount called the Link, and the Link is something that they make. It's proprietary to them, and all of their stuff that you mount on handguards is made with this stuff called Link. And what Link does is it will work on a Keymod or an M-LOK.
Oh wow. Okay.
Right. So that's handy as hell.
That is very handy. I've got both of those platforms in my safe. So yeah.
Yep. Kind of one of the cool ones that I saw from them this year was they are making stocks and handguards for pump action shotguns.
Oh, very nice.
Coming out.
Yeah.
So it's no longer just Magpul doing the aftermarket stuff for the 590 and the 500 and the 870.
Very
so it'll
cool.
be good to see some stuff from Stryk because their prices are always fantastic. And, I know the guys, so I like supporting them too.
Yeah.
But, they're doing a lot of good things.
That's very neat. Yeah. I saw, the best I could do was live vicariously through social media during SHOT. And I saw somebody post a picture of the new Stryk Viper pistol grip. And so it's a pistol grip for the AR platform. Like, I mean, I hate to compare, but everybody automatically thinks about like the Mo grips and things like that from Magpul. It's very similar, but it's got a really aggressive texture, and it comes in. I'm looking at their website right now. 3 different degree cant of a grip, right? So 15, 20, 25 degree grip cant, depending on what you want. But the texture of this thing looks a lot like what I like from the MMP 2.0. It kind of an aggressive, grippy texture on the sides and right where you need it and stuff. So that was pretty excited about that one. That's cool, man. The Link though, that's neat because if you've got both ecosystems representative, across your weapons, you got Keymod here and M-LOK there. That's a pretty sweet way to do it. Have one mounting platform that would go to both. So.
Yeah. Another thing that he has that's kind of neat is he's got a set of sights that like AR style sight system that mounts at the 45. So you rock your gun, to the left, and you've got your sights there. Well, what his do is they're on the 45, but then if you knock them, they pop up to the 12 o'clock.
Oh, no kidding.
So they're hinged up and then over.
Isn't that cool?
They go both ways.
That is really cool.
Yeah, kind of neat. Not necessarily, it would be a fairly unique situation where you'd have to use it both ways.
Well,
or want to use it both ways, but the fact that you can do it is pretty cool.
Well, like what if your optic went down, right? Completely went down. If you've got a quick detach on the optic, you yank that thing off, knock the sights up to, a normal
and then
sighting
you can
position.
just drive the gun up normally.
Drive the gun normally.
Every time.
Yeah, not have to do the flip it 45 degrees to use irons. That is really cool. Very cool. All right. Sweet.
So definitely check out Stryk. They've got hundreds of products in line and lots more coming. Hundreds of drawings on the board, I'm told, from an inside source. So be on the lookout for lots of new cool stuff.
I'm looking at their website right now. I didn't realize how extensive their catalog of stuff is. I mean, they've got a bunch of stuff. That is really neat. Yep. Pages and pages of gear. All right. Very cool. Yep. What else? I'm like a kid at Christmas. Like unwrap the present, go to the next thing. What is it?
This is one that was it was absolutely on my spectrum, and I was not necessarily looking forward to it, but I had to go kind of like, stare at the car crash when you go by type of thing.
Yeah.
And this was the Mossberg pistol.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're talking about the one that's like Glock 42, 43 size, 9mm.
Yep. It's a Glock 43 size, Shield 9 size, Taurus G2C size.
Yeah.
It's in a very flooded market of proven systems.
Right.
The pictures of it, the name Mossberg, I totally judged the book by its cover, and I was not expecting much.
Yeah.
And when I got there, I was very surprised at how good it felt,
right?
how nice the trigger was, and how well I shot it.
So our, your friend, my acquaintance, Robin, mentioned that the other day, and he kind of threw it out there on social media to his folks and said, "What do you think about this? Did they do good, or should they have stayed in their lane?" And I think that's a great question. In your opinion, should they have stayed in their lane, or is this a good one?
They should have stayed in their lane. It's a good gun, but they should have stayed in their lane.
Okay.
I think that lane is very flooded.
Okay.
It's flooded with proven products. And I think that, if I tell you Taurus and you hadn't done if I told you Mossberg rather, and you hadn't done the research on a subcompact single stack 9mm pistol, what's the dollar going to be? If you asked me, I was thinking I would be able to walk into a gun shop and pick one up for $279.
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's over $100 below.
Yeah.
They're Glock pricing.
Okay.
They're over M&P Shield pricing, and I think that's where they missed the mark the most.
Yeah, the
trigger felt good, but everything else. But nobody that I know. It's not like there's a cult following for Mossberg, right? People aren't like, oh, I love my Mossberg pistols, because there is none,
right?
So
this is like the first pistol they've done in forever,
100 years.
Yeah, 100 years, right? So this is the MC1 SC that we're talking about. Their subcompact 9mm.
It felt good. It shot good. I think they missed the mark on their price point, and I don't understand getting into that lane right now. It's such a busy, with the 365 coming, which has been a grand slam for SIG, the Glock 43, the Glock 48, the Glock 43X, all in that lane. M&P Shield, the M&P Shield 2.0.
Right.
You have the Taurus lines. You have the Keltec lines. It is a flood.
It is a very busy market. This is weird. I'm trying to think. I'm speaking from a position of ignorance right now. Is Mossberg owned by one of the big holding companies like Freedom Group or Cerberus or somebody like that? I can't. Maybe they're not. They may not be. But
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look. And I guess the reason I ask is that it almost seems like if a big holding group owned them, why would they have launched it under the Mossberg name? Why wouldn't they have gone to a brand that maybe was more synonymous with handguns? If they're not owned by a holding company or an investment group, and it's just Mossberg, it's, I guess, I don't know. In that case, why wouldn't you price it more aggressively to steal market share by undercutting everybody else? Even if it was in the industry, any industry, you have loss leaders, right? You're going to lose money on this thing, but you're going to make it up in brand awareness or as a gateway to other products that you sell, that kind of stuff, right? Yep. Why wouldn't they do that? Because when I think Mossberg, I think shotguns, period. And I know they make rifles, but I think shotguns. And that's really, really weird.
But I'm saying they should have stayed in their lane, not because of the quality of the product, but because of the business side of it. I just don't think that there's room necessarily for them to be breaking away into the pistol category in such a flooded category. The gun shot good. The trigger felt great. I shot it well, surprisingly well. I shot it very fast and very accurately, and the guy kind of gave me a nod, like, good shooting text type of nod, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And I was like,
hey, you've held a gun before.
I was surprised that this gun shoots this good,
right.
And it just feels good too, which it all really surprised me.
I'm looking at the thing right now, and it's got a nice, good overhang, that's going to keep slide bite from happening. It's got really, it looks like pretty good, aggressive serrations on the slide, fore and aft, so you can get a good grip on it. The sights don't look like they suck. The grip, thankfully, doesn't have grip zone, like, tattooed down the side of it or anything stupid like that. It looks really interesting. I heard the rumor. Tell me, is this true or not? Does it use Glock 43 mags or no? No, I
don't think so. I think they look totally different.
Somebody made a comment that they thought it used that, and that may have just been complete BS. I don't know, man. Maybe this is something that maybe we're just seeing the first of Mossberg's pistol line, right? Maybe more is to come here. I could see in that case why start off with a gun in a size that is very popular right now. this seems to be the year of the single stack, 10 round ish 9mm gun that you can drop in a pocket or really slim inside the waistband holster stuff. Like I can see why getting this would make sense launching it to initiate your product line. But I would almost think if you're going to do that, go ahead and release a full size or two with it so that people understand it's part of a family and not just, right now it's a sore thumb sticking out in their catalog. And,
right. It's got to have its own section, but it's the only thing in the section.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's weird. I mean, it looks like a neat gun. I don't want to pass judgment. It's got like the HK VP9's got the ears on the slide to help you cock it or something. And, I don't like to slingshot cock. I go for the saddle type, hand over the slide. But this has got the little ears on it that would be better for slingshotting. And so anyway, I mean, it's neat. It's a neat looking gun. I'd like to shoot one sometime, but I probably would not rush to it as an option if it's priced in the same ballpark as a Glock or a SIG. So
yeah. I think that's where they missed the mark. More than being in the floating market, they needed to be at a cheap price point for people to take the risk on a new pistol.
Right. Yeah. Bummer. All right. Well,
we'll see.
We'll see. Right. Yeah.
That could be totally wrong, but that's just my kind of my experience. My guess on the matter.
You got your thumb on the pulse of things pretty well, being in the industry. Who knows? NRAM. Just a couple of months away, and sometimes you see companies hold products to release an NRAM, right? So maybe this, like I said, maybe this is the first part of others. I keep holding out that Smith & Wesson's going to come through for me and release a 10mm M&P at NRAM. So we'll see. Smith & Wesson, do it. I know you listen to the show. Everybody listens to this show.
I mean, I think the only way they could have gotten more of a flooded market is if they released a new AR.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey folks, David here. By now, regular listeners of the show are well acquainted with Mark and our friends over at Squared Away Customs. You already know that they are a manufacturer of high-quality custom Kydex holsters and carry gear for civilians, military, and law enforcement. But what you might not know is that Squared Away Customs is also your one-stop source for weapon-mounted lights and other firearms accessories. Mark, Corey, and the gang are now also stocking dealer for Polymer 80 frames and slides, and of course, have holsters to fit. What is Polymer 80, you ask? They are 80% complete polymer frames that you finish out with Glock pistol components. Because you're building it, there's no serial number, no FFL required, and no registration needed. It's a great way to build a custom Glock-style pistol of your own creation. Squared Away Customs offers Polymer 80 frames compatible with Glock model 17, 19, 22, 23, 26, 27, 34, and 35 Generation 3 components. They come in 2 different grip styles and include features like an extended beaver tail, double undercut trigger guard, and a thumb ledge already built in. So, if you're looking for the next level of customization and performance from the Glock platform, head over to squaredawaycustoms.com and check out their Polymer 80 accessories and, of course, their Squared Away Customs Polymer 80 custom holsters today.
I mean, I think the only way they could have gotten more of a flooded market is if they released a new AR.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I thought, wait a minute now. I have to back up and think. Didn't they do an AR a while back, or was that
the MMR?
Okay. Yeah. MMR? Yeah. There it is.
Mossberg repeating rifle or something.
MMR carbine rifle, and it's an AR. Yeah. Wah. Okay. All right. What's next?
Okay, speaking of crash and burn, walked by the Hudson booth.
Oh, that's a story in and of itself.
Yeah. So sad to say, the Hudson booth, they no-showed their booth at SHOT Show.
Yeah.
The buzz in the industry is that they're not returning phone calls. They have warranty repairs that have been received and they're not sending back. And the buzz is they are shutting down. And
that's sad.
I talked about it months ago. Like, I just don't see, that's another one. Like, I just don't see the place for this gun. This is not a competition gun. This is not a concealed carry gun. It's just a cool gun because it's different. Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I sold it. It's like, I don't have a place for this. I'm never going to carry it. It's not proven.
Right.
I don't shoot competition and I wouldn't with this gun. What about this is why I need, why do I need this? And it came down to, I just didn't. And I think the market's kind of seen the same thing, unfortunately.
That's sad. I feel like it was a gun that maybe appealed to people that might have considered the Wilson Combat, EDC 9 or something like that, but didn't want that, or maybe they were a 1911 guy and really wanted that thin steel silver, single stack, but they also kind of wanted a striker. I don't know. It's weird. It's innovative. It was really neat to see what it did.
And that's what I think. That's why it sucks that they crashed, because it was innovative. Like, when was the last time you saw something very innovative in the gun world?
Right.
That's innovative as a Hudson.
Right. I mean, I would have been psyched to see them. And I know that they were trying to do an aluminum frame version of the Hudson, right? But I would have been super psyched to see them translate that somehow into a polymer framed gun. And now we're talking about something that, polymer frame, striker fired, single stack with a super low bore axis and that recoil assembly, that they use. It was so innovative. That would have been neat, right? But I'm sad about this. I hope that they get it turned around, because let me ask a question, right? So it's not a competition gun. It was kind of a funky, weird gun for carry. Could you almost say the same thing about the Archon, or do you feel like the Archon is really more of that high end? It's a gun that's going to take away some market segment from Agency and Zev and those guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take away from the Gucci Glock segment. I 100% see. I mean, it is a low bore axis. It's not extremely heavy. It's got a super comfortable grip. It's very well textured. These are all things that the Hudson was not. And it doesn't weigh 3 pounds. You know what I mean? I think this gun does have a place. There's people shooting it in competition already.
Yeah.
I would absolutely consider this as a good CCW piece after I put a couple thousand rounds through it and can really trust it.
But the Hudson is
very
different.
Very different brakes. Yeah, I mean, what sucks is that they're crashing and burning. But what sucks even more is how they're handling it.
Yeah, that does.
Because people have $1,000 bills in these guns, and they're sent them back for warranty and repair.
That's a big one.
And they're not getting any responses. They're not answering the phones.
Yeah.
The phones are disconnected. Rather, they're not replying to emails. Like, this is not the way you do it. Own it.
Yeah,
be
that's
like,
a big
hey,
one.
We are screwed right now.
Right. Yeah. I'd have slapped a return to sender.
I promise you a damn thing.
Right. I'd have slapped a return to sender label on that package and sent it right back to the person who sent it to me. Right. Rather than take it in and sit on it. Because
the bad part about it is it's not like you can buy parts for it anywhere.
Well, no, but at least you would have something in your hand. Even if you were to sell it, for somebody that wanted it as a collector's item, you could maybe move it and get some of your money back. But when you've now forfeited it back to the company, and if they're going through a bankruptcy, we saw this in the off-road world, in the Toyota off-road world last year, when a very popular manufacturer of bumpers and things like that had put in, taken a lot of people's money for pre-orders and stuff, and then they went out of business. And there were orders sitting, like on the dock to ship out to people. And as soon as the bankruptcy, the ink was signed, dry on the signatures, every bit of that froze. It was now an asset of the bankruptcy, and could be sold off to satisfy the debt. And now these poor people that have sent their Hudsons back for warranty work, they may never see that gun again. Be interesting to see what plays out there, right? I mean, I haven't seen an official bankruptcy notice or anything like that on a Hudson, but listeners, if you've got one and you send it back and you're wondering what the heck's going on, keep your ear to the ground on that, because if it does go to bankruptcy, you will want to contact the court immediately with your serial number and all that other stuff. So hopefully you can get your property back.
Yeah. I mean, not to mention, it is your property, and it is it's a serialized
that's right.
Weapon that is registered in your name.
Absolutely right.
So depending on when it got back to them, and like, I don't know how these things happen, but I'm really not trying to rain on their parade too much, but like, depending on when it got back to them, did it get logged into their book? Because if it's not logged into their book, then you are the
you're still the last person to own the gun. Right.
Yeah. So there's lots to worry about here.
Yeah, keep your ear to the ground, people. I don't want to kick a company while they're down, and I'd love to see them come back out of this and restructure or something, right? But like Mark said, man, that's like your serial. That is serialized to you, and you want to either get your property back, or you may have to talk to the ATF even and figure out what's going on there. I'm sure other firearms companies have gone out of business. This is an uncharted territory. So, the ATF could probably give some guidance on this. Hey, that's a useful thing that the ATF can do.
There you go.
Yeah,
but they're many of them are not working right now. So
well, they're back, aren't they? Don't call it a shutdown. It's
Well, they're not processing.
Are they not?
They're not processing documents for suppressors. I know that.
Oh, that sucks. Well, man, and we gotten so close to things kind of being caught up again, and now it's like a conspiracy. I'm gonna get my tinfoil out. I'm gonna make a hat. I'm gonna wear it. All right. Wow, that's depressing. Hudson wasn't alone. Worth mentioning that, right? The ATF wasn't at SHOT Show this year because of the government shutdown. So, yeah, take that, ATF.
Some good news. So, what else is good? So, this isn't a big thing for me, but if you are a believer in the 45 ACP because they don't make 46. Polymer 80 came out with their large size frames.
They did. Hey, but as Dan McCalman told me in a message, you can also run the 10 mil with this, right? So
sure can.
It's the same size frame as the Glock 20, the 10 mil.
I shot 45 ACP for the first time, and I can't even tell you how many years.
Right.
On Monday of SHOT Show, and I took out a steel bag guy at 10 yards and
his arm
shot
fell
him 10
off.
times. Yeah, his arm fell off. Shot right through the steel. 40. That stuff has got knocked out power.
I feel so dirty. I like the 45. I really do. I mean, I think it's nostalgia. The same reason I like 1911s. It's good to respect your ancestors, but I'm more excited about that product because of the fact that I could build a 10 mil out of it, and I think that's awesome. And that's the reason why I'm excited about anything that takes a Glock large frame mag is 10 mil. Like, I've got a friend that built a quarter circle 10 AR pistol with, and he chambered it in 45. And I was like, man, I was so excited about everything you were saying until you got to the caliber. And then I was like, oh, why that? Why not 10 mil? I was like, well, no, why go do 10 mil? So anyway, yeah. So that's cool. Very cool. I'm glad to see that out of Polymer 80. Polymer 80, I think they're definitely a company to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't talk about it, but I know there's a lot more cool things coming down the pike.
Yeah. It's very, very neat. Now, I'm not just saying that because friends of the show, but I mean, friends of the show, but they're friends of the show because, man, they are they're gun guys. I mean, they are gun geeks and they love that stuff. So and
they are chasing innovation as fast as possible, which is cool.
Dan just shared on social media, or somebody shared. I say it's Dan. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was our social media department. But they just got a patent issued to them for their locking block, which is really cool. That's going to allow them to protect their intellectual property, which is important, not because it keeps the Chinese from reproducing their stuff and whatever, but it's really going to allow them to make good use of the investment that they've already made in their tooling and everything else. So that's neat. I mean, that locking block, let's face it, that's what makes the Polymer 80, one of the things that makes the Polymer 80 frame darn reliable and functioning. So yeah, that's very cool. Congrats to those dudes and looking forward to that. Really glad to hear about the 10 mil. What's killed me over the past few months is when Dan was on the show with us, when we were off mic and not recording, he told us about the 45 caliber and the 10 millimeter frames coming out, and it sucked having to keep a lid on that, but I'm excited to see it happen. It's fun.
Another one that kind of caught me off guard a little bit that ended up being really nice is the Crimson Trace line of scopes.
Wait, what? We're talking about Crimson Trace, the companion for Kimber 1911s.
Yep. So they came out with red dots.
Yeah.
Variable power optics,
right?
Flashlights. And I shot some of their high end scopes. And
were they good?
They were nice.
Really?
They were real nice.
What's the?
There's like an A, B, and a C, as far as good, better, best. Okay. And A feels like an A. It feels like that entry level Strike Eagle Vortex type of glass.
Yeah.
But that B and that C were real nice.
No doubt. So this kind of reminds me of EOTech last year when EOTech kind of stretched out of the red dot world and went into optics, like magnified optics, like scopes and stuff. And supposedly their scopes are pretty darn good.
They are. Well, they are nice too. Yeah.
Yeah. What about, so tell me about the stuff from Crimson Trace. What price points are we, I mean, you said there's a couple of spreads
so
there, right?
I was looking at like a kind of like a variable power AR, like a 1 to 4, 1 to 6, 1 to 8 type of variable power optics.
Yeah.
And I forget the price points, but they started at like, $399 or something like that. And it kind of felt like a $399 scope, but that $700 price point was nice.
Huh.
And then the better one was really nice. It was like a 34 millimeter tube, but like crystal clear, wide open, good lighting. It was, I'm far from a scope connoisseur, but I could tell the difference between those three, and it was a really nice. They were nice.
Well, so
can't tell you how long they're going to last or what they're going to hold up to or what the glass is or any specs like that. All I can say is I lifted them up and I was really surprised that it looked as clear as it did.
So it's worth, people need, it's worth them looking at if they're thinking about putting an
put your
optic
hands on it. Yeah.
Okay,
if you know more about glass than me, absolutely put your hands on it and look at the specs and see what you know. But yeah, they seemed really good.
Sidebar. What scope would you recommend right now for a 5.56 AR, 16-inch carbine length, 1 to 4, 1 to 6, just for, if you're going to do one? I'm asking for a friend.
I've been hearing good things about Steiner.
Okay.
Steiner's been I've been hearing some good stuff there. Steve Fisher just posted something about one that brand that I wasn't familiar. Miopta, a line of Miopta.
Huh.
He's claiming is really good. It's ultra light. It's a 1 to 6, but it's ultra light, which is good. Miopta, Steiner. Vortex has got a great industry name, but I've heard a couple of negative things about Vortex.
Yeah.
As of recently,
Vortex backs their stuff up, but I don't want to have to use that warranty. Right. And I think that's what I keep hearing everybody say is eventually you're going to.
And I've heard really good things about the EOTech stuff too.
Yeah. I mean, so, of course, everybody asking for a friend. I'm asking for me, right? I've got, I'm going to rebuild one of my ARs. It's the mid-length gas system. Man, I think it needs to be updated. I'm going to throw a new modern, forearm on it and a handrail, like probably an M-LOK or something sleek and thin and lightweight. But it's wearing an EOTech red dot right now. And I would like to put some sort of 1 to 4 or 1 to 6 rifle on it so I could take it and stretch its legs a little bit further. Cause otherwise if I'm going to shoot red dot, I'm going to carry something lighter like my, Noveski or something. So, anyway, yeah. Okay. Well, we'll talk about that at some point. Pick your brain a little bit more. What else is new? I felt like I just had to use my podcast or our podcast to ask my selfish questions. So,
boy, I'm starting to draw a blank of like really cool. There was not a lot of innovation this year. There was not a lot of. This is new and amazing.
Magpul introduced the CZ Scorpion stuff, didn't they? Right before SHOT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard about that. That's cool. Angsted.
Yeah.
Angsted Arms. They make they specialize in pistol caliber carbines.
They do
have a really cool new stock system coming out and shoulder brace or not shoulder brace, but a stabilizer brace stock system coming out that's very much PDW and collapses to like having a 2-inch buffer.
Okay.
So the stock collapses the whole length. I mean, it's 2 inches past the end of the receiver, which is bonkers short. It's like backpack worthy. So you get that with a 3-inch barrel in that PDW stock. It's something else. So that'll be something to watch out for.
I gotta ask, did you see the new Steyr A2 pistol?
I did not.
Have you seen that on social media?
Yes.
Okay. I'm kind of interested in that. I remember when the A1 came out, or the A1L9 or something like that. Man, this is like 10, 12 years ago at least. And I remember it in the 40 cal. Everybody liked it. It had kind of like a funky sights, which was kind of a weird thing. but that was one of the original guns that you could get a really silly high grip on. Yeah, this new Steyr A2 modular frame pistol is kind of a thing. It's the modular kind of like, I guess, like the SIG P320s and such, where you can pull the serialized action out of it and swap frames. But it's a modernization of it. So it's got pick rail and that's still that really cool high grip. It's almost like, look at a picture of the thing now. It really cants your hand on the gun.
Your hand's really tipped forward. Yeah.
Really tipped forward, which I would think helps a lot with mitigating muzzle flip. The only thing that's weird looking about this gun is the trigger. It looks like somebody had a challenge. How can we make a trigger bigger? And I don't know how to describe it other than that. I mean, it's like, I don't know. You look at the trigger guard opening and it takes up a third of the size of the trigger guard opening. It's just big. It's big trigger. So, yeah. Okay.
Oh, another neat one is the Cloud Defensive. We've talked about the Owl.
Are you talking about the rails?
Yeah. So their handguard came out. So what their handguard has done is they have recessed the Picatinny rail section on the 12 o'clock for about 3 inches so that your pressure switch then sits essentially flush on the top of your handguard.
Neat.
Simple little thing, but super cool.
Keeps it from snagging, I bet.
Keeps it from snagging. You maintain the same grip. You're able to transition from it and away from it easier. But yeah, I mean, cool little product that, it's like, why didn't I think of that type of thing?
Yeah.
But, and the other really great thing is they're working with BCM and they're using the crossbolt technology that BCM uses on their handguards on their barrel nut, which is super great because what it is the first screw goes through and that screw's head has little dimples, like round dimples cut out of the head of it. And then another screw goes in from the opposite side and it goes through and the tip of the screw goes into the head dimple, the dimple of the head. So it locks it. So it's impossible for that screw to back out. It's a super innovative design. It's been around for a long time. It's in the KMR rails, the M-LOK and Keymod versions. But they are using that technology on the Cloud Defensive rail. So that's pretty awesome.
Very cool. Yeah, I've got BCM rails on a few different things. And then that cross bolt system locks that dude in there tight. I mean, it's not going anywhere once you do that.
Yeah,
so
it's fantastic.
Caracal. Did you see the new Caracal AR pistol while you were out there?
I did not.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, they're getting into the AR platform pretty heavily and they've got, AR pistols now. So, looks like a Springfield Saint or something, any other, pistol, but, the one I'm looking at is online right now. It's a 14.5 inch. The other one has an 11.5 inch barrel. They use the SB tactical brace, M-LOK attachment points, ambi safety, lifetime warranty. Interestingly enough, the MSRP on these things is like, it's towards the higher end of ARs. I mean, it's like $1,900, right? So
that's a bonkers price point to be at these days.
Yeah. And I, the race to the bottom never helps anybody, but I think the race to the top, man, you're getting into some thin air at that point, and you better bring something to the table. I'm interested in seeing what this has that its competitors don't. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I'm couch surfing SHOT Show pictures, and you were there, so
it's just hard to retain it all and be like, oh yeah, this was cool too. Oh yeah, that was cool. So I one thing that we haven't talked about is the Glocks. So the 43X and the 48.
Nothing else. They didn't announce anything else, right? That was it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which essentially are slightly different size 43s. I kind of think it's neat, but it's not a gun for me. I carry a big gun, and I don't. The single stack thing doesn't mean much to me. I shot both of them. They shot good, but they felt very similar to any 43.
Right.
I guess the good news is you get a little bit more of a pinky extension. But I got that on my 43 with a Terran Tactical base plate extension. So it saves me from the pinch on a reload, but I shoot them fairly similar. I guess the 48 has the longer sight radius, which is helpful maybe for being a better shot. But, we're talking about an inch when you're talking about 4. There's probably not going to be significant difference of sight radius enough to really make a difference for me shooting 10 yards.
Right.
So, cool guns. I think they're going to sell well, of course, like every other Glock that's made for the most part. But not a lot to say about them. I mean, it's a Glock. It's the same technology, it's the same feel, it's the same triggers, same slides, same sights, same everything. So
I saw a post from Matt Jocks over at Victory First. He said that the longer sight radius, yes, on the 43, on the 48 made sense. However, he these are his words. I love it. I refer to it as the Lego principle. Stepping on a Lego wouldn't hurt if it was the size of your cell phone. Short guns hurt. And he's talking about carrying, appendix style. Short guns hurt because they pinch at your waist. So they stretch the slide, produce a match barrel, and then optimize the Glock Model 43. And I guess that makes sense, right? A longer barrel provides a little bit more leverage. Like when you sit down, especially, it's not going to dig as much, when the lower part of your thigh or your leg, pushes that out. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I thought, the Lego principle, I guess he's right. If I step on a Lego in my house, it hurts like hell. But if I step on a cell phone, it's not going to hurt. So,
right. What else was cool? Daniel Defense bolt gun.
Okay. Yeah. So that was actually,
it was a pre-release, but people finally got their hands on it.
Yeah,
so,
I guess I kind of looked at that and wondered why did they get into it, but everybody else that actually had hands on it says, man, it's good that they did, right? So,
yeah, I mean, I guess they did some stuff that's a little bit different, but it feels very, very Remington 700-ish. In fact, I think they're using a Remington 700 trigger. The safety in the same place. The trigger feels good. I mean, I think they're using a Timney trigger in it, which is what I have as a Timney Calvin Elite in my 700. But yeah, it's very Remington 700-ish. It felt good. The bolt felt good. It's a 3-lug lock up on the bolt. I mean, it's a little heavy. They're talking about getting in. They're kind of transitioning from a precision bolt gun into a hunting bolt gun.
Okay.
Next, I guess, is their next plan. But pretty cool gun.
What about the most vaporware of vaporware guns for the past few SHOT Shows? The Avidity Arms PD-10 or whatever that thing's called.
Yeah, more of the same. Like there it is.
Okay.
Well, it still looks the same. Still not ready to release it yet. I don't know what the crap Rob Pincus and the guys over there are doing.
Bummer. Yeah.
I had a couple of conversations with Rob and a couple of high fives in the hallway, and he's always fun to joke around and josh around with about the gun. But I honestly don't know what the holdup is.
But I don't know.
But I don't know crap about making guns either. So
right, yeah, me either. I saw that he posted on social media yesterday or the day before that he bought a Glock 48, and I thought, well, yeah, he finally got his Avidity Arms PD-10. Kind of hateful, but and I don't hold any ill will towards Rob at all. I just, it's like, I don't know. It feels like Glock released what he's been wanting to release for a long while. I think that the PD-10, looking at the specs of the thing, still has some unique features. I don't know, man. I want to see it happen, right? I love seeing guys create a new product. I mean, the one thing that it has that the others don't in its range is the rail system. Yeah, it does. It does have a pick rail.
So the 43 doesn't have a rail.
Right.
The 43X doesn't have a rail. The 48 doesn't have a rail. The XD S4.0 does, but it's pretty damn useless because there's only about one light you can fit on it.
Right.
Versus the PD-10 has a little bit of an extendo rail, so you can actually have some options.
Yeah.
But if you're worried about carrying a gun that's sub 1 inch, you don't really give a crap about a rail because you're not putting a 1.5 wide
yeah,
light
right.
on it.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. That's not the purpose of it.
So So why have a rail? I don't know, but
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Bummer. I'd like to see it come to the market just because I feel like, it's been dangled out there for so long. It would be good just to see the conclusion of the saga. It'd be otherwise it's like seeing a favorite TV show get canceled before they can conclude the story, and you kind of like, oh well, yeah. So I want to see Rob's story conclude. Dang it! All right. What else?
So yeah,
cool?
there was there's a lot out there. I could go through them all day, but things that really stood out, I think I've mentioned. I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head that was really like glaring.
I think the surprising one that I saw, and I didn't even see this during SHOT Show. This wasn't like, it didn't make a splash in social media where I saw it during SHOT and could have texted you and said, hey, go see this, right? Stag Arms. They've got a 10 millimeter AR platform pistol. And that was kind of cool, right? I mean, I was like, first of all, I didn't know that Stag was still in business. So I was surprised by that. I was like, wow, that's shocker number one. And shocker number two was, holy crap, it's a 10 mil. Other than that, I don't know. It looks like the price point on it might be kind of high for a Stag. So I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't see it or get hands on it, so I'm not too familiar. But what was it, like $1,000 bill or what?
I would have to go Google that real quick to even sound halfway like I know what I'm talking about. Let's see, Stag 10 mil AR at SHOT. I love I want to click this link, but I'm afraid that might launch music. No, it didn't. The headline was Stag did not disappoint. Like, well, they showed up, so there you go. Do they list a price on this thing? No, because that would be important information to list about a product, and they don't. On their website, do they list a price point? I don't see it readily apparent. This is terrible. Stag, your website stinks. You guys need to have important information like that right up there. I don't know. It is kind of weird that that they did this, I guess. Actually, I don't even see it on their website. Yeah, they have AR-15 223-556 and AR-10 308-65 Creedmoor. They don't even list the thing on their website that I can tell. This is really kind of sad. Almost makes it feel like that was a surprise to themselves, even that they were going to get it out there. Huh. Oh, well. Trying to think of anything else that I saw from this side of the screen that you may have hands on. I alluded to something maybe at the earlier part of the show that I'd heard that this year was confirmation that the Glock platform has become almost like the open source pistol. When you think about what Polymer 80 has done with the Gen 3, frame design and as patents start to expire, others get into the market. But you had Zev coming to market with that modular pistol. I saw the agency, the Syndicate, that ended up being kind of like a roll your own, complete in a box. With a
Polymer 80 frame.
Polymer 80 frame. Who else was? I think was it Faxon has got a
Polymer 80 frame.
Polymer 80 frame gun of their own now too, and stuff like that. So kind of a theme there. But it seemed like this year maybe the thing was a lot of Glock style, not Glocks. So and
it's another market that's starting to become very flooded. You know what I mean? Like it's like if everybody starts doing it, then nobody's going to be successful,
right?
And it's just another thing that that makes you sad about, like, Hudson. They do something innovative and they die for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody else is after that one piece of pie, and the sliver's getting smaller.
I'm looking for. I don't see it. FN also released not only the 509 midsize, but I'm trying to find the product designation. They've got one that's made just for law enforcement only, and it's It's a 509, not a tactical. So it's almost like the 509 mid, or maybe it's
they just released the 509 tactical in black too.
Well, yeah, they've got that one, and I'm really kind of I have a feeling that I'm going to sell probably my Glock 21, which is a nightstand gun right now, and replace it with that 509 tactical, or I'm going to do a 17 build with an armor. So might be a polymer 80. Who knows? No, they just did one. They released, and I'm trying to find the details on it. I think here's what I think the deal was. It was a, oh, here it is. It's the 509. So it's a 17 round. So it's got the same frame grip length as the 509 tactical, or the full size 509, with a milled short slide like the 509M.
So it's basically an FN 509 19X version.
Right, is what it looks like, and it's available to law enforcement only for some reason. I don't know. I'm having a hard time finding details on it. But I saw it the other day. I didn't make this up. I didn't hit my head. I swear this was really a thing, and now I can't find details, and that's annoying. Anyway, next episode maybe I'll have found my sources. I can put that out there. But it's interesting. I would like to see the 509M with a the pre-milled slide for an RMR. Here it is. It's the 509 MRD. FN announces release of 509 MRD pistol for law enforcement agencies. Oh wow! This picture's actually got the darling of shot, the new Acro sight, the Aimpoint Acro, which I don't know if you want to talk about that or not. But anyway, so it's got the picture of that. 509 MRD features the company's patent pending FN low profile optics mounting system. First introduced in the 509 Tactical, can accommodate more than 10 commercially available red dot sights. It is a 10, 17, or 24 rounds. So yes, it's the same size grip as the Tactical with the 509 and 509M's slide, shorter slide. So there you go. It is the 509X. So, but why they only make this available to law enforcement is kind of beyond me. Strange.
Well, it starts that way. It's just a tease, probably.
Yeah, probably.
It'll be available in 6 months, probably.
Yeah. Yeah. What'd you think about the Aimpoint Acro?
I didn't have any hands on it.
Okay.
I wish I did. I didn't. I walked by Aimpoint and I'm thinking, I can't think of anything that's new there. So I just kept going.
Yeah.
And then afterward, I'm like, dang it.
Right. So
I think it looks big and chunky. It kind of, people are like, looks like a toaster sitting on top of your Glock.
I said it looked like a mailbox, right?
Yeah. The funny thing is, it's very similar to footprint if you were to drop them in the sand as the RMR.
Yeah.
Except for it's square versus
illusion.
Having that L shape. Yeah. It just looks so much bigger.
Yeah.
But the feedback from trusted sources are good.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, listeners, if you haven't seen it yet, it doesn't take very much searching on the internet. Aimpoint, Acro, ACRO. Mark just described it for you. It's a rectangular enclosed red dot, and it is roughly the same size, width, length, height as a Trigicon RMR. However, the RMR, the tallest point of the RMR is about a third. I'm looking at the RMR on my Glock 19. It's about a third of the overall length. The Acro, it's a cube. It's a box. It's a box. Yeah, it's a rectangle. It looks like a mailbox. It looks like 2
9-volt batteries stuck together on top of a Glock.
Yeah, and so because of that, it looks big. It's not really much bigger than a RMR. And they say the advantage of it being fully enclosed like that is reliability. The emitter won't get covered with dirt, grit, sweat, wet.
And that is a real issue for the RMR. I mean, no, there's a real issue, and cleaning off the inside lens is a pain in the nut.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Yeah. So it's cool. I was one of the ones that kind of jumped on it, and if you put a red flag on the side, it looks like a mailbox. If you leave the flag up, Aimpoint will leave a letter in there a few years from now when they got a smaller product. But I don't know, right? I mean, I hate to just judge it off of that, knowing that it's the same size. It's just, man, the mind's eye is a cruel thing, and you look at it and you're like, that is huge, and it's really not. It's I don't know. Looks like a radar gun. I don't know. It's just weird. I want to try it. I don't want to write it off. I look forward to getting my hands on one of them. I'm looking forward to MRAM. I want to see what's at the NRA annual meetings. Like I said, some companies hold stuff back. They don't release it until NRAM. I think really more curious for me is I wonder how much industry presence there is at NRAM when right now there are so many people that are kind of grumbling and discontent about the NRA. So we shall see. I'll be there. You're going to be there, right?
Yes.
Man, we're actually going to be meet in person. This is crazy. Right? Yeah. All right.
Oddly, I was just looking at flights last night.
Yeah.
And I don't know what is going. I always am like, I'm just a Southwest fan. I've got, we got the credit card in the family, and I do a lot of my work travels through Southwest. So we get a lot of the points, and there's like, I don't know, it's a pretty good point system. And I've just always had good luck with Southwest.
Yeah.
And I checked the flight. It was $92 to get there, $480 to get home. And I'm like, what the crap is going on?
It's like they're holding you hostage. Oh, we'll get you here free.
Like,
you want to get
you here? Yeah. Come on, man.
That's rough.
So I check other airlines, and it's a similar thing with other airlines.
Oh, wow.
I don't understand what the problem is or why, because it's not usually like that.
Yeah.
But man, I was surprised.
That's crazy. Oh man.
I just went to Vegas round trip for $290. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
We're going to drive. We'll drive up. It's going to be a lengthy drive, but 6 hours, I guess, we can do it. And I think we're going to drive up on Thursday, be there Friday, Saturday, and then come back on Sunday is what we're planning. So,
I got to be home on Sunday. It's my daughter's birthday on the 28th.
Oh, wow. Very cool. Yeah.
So,
very cool.
So so I can be here for the child to be almost a teenager. And
that's awesome, man. Time flies.
It sure does. Holy cow.
Time flies. My daughter, my youngest daughter, my second youngest, 5 years old today. I don't know where time goes. It's just flies by. So anyway, as we get closer to NRAM, I'll look for some opportunities to kind of, maybe we'll set up a meet and greet with folks that listen to the show or something. Yeah. So be interesting, be fun. I'll bring a bottle of something, man. Bring some cigars. We'll have to, I don't know, it'd be fun. Maybe we can do a live record or semi-live recording. Do a recording of the podcast from the NRA show. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a show that goes by real quick. 3 days, bang bang, we're out of here.
It does.
It goes
very quick,
especially when you're leaving Sunday, like I am, or and you too.
So, we'll just get right back on the road on Sunday. So yeah, looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun. Well, golly, man. So that was shot. That's a lot of stuff. We're actually already an hour and a half into the episode. So, very cool.
Yeah, I mean that was a bunch of little tidbits of SHOT Show and you could go on forever. You know what I mean? It was I think this year was 27 seconds per booth.
Wow.
So if you're there from open to close all 4 days of the show, you have 27 seconds per booth
to see everything. Wow, that's just impossible.
Yeah, it's absolutely impossible. Yeah.
Well,
because there's no way, especially with like the traffic Monday to with Tuesday, Wednesday traffic in the aisles. Like you can't go 10 yards in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? It's just bonkers.
Yeah, everybody wants to go to SHOT. If you're a gun person and you've heard about SHOT, it's kind of like a bucket list, and everybody says they want to do it. And I think that Corey was making the comment on social media, probably on Facebook, while you were out there to one of our friends. He's like, but why? You're in the industry, and I don't think you understand that this is really an industry show. I mean, I know that it's branched out, and there's so much media now, quote unquote media, that social media stuff, especially where, they're present and it used to be media meant, newspapers, TV, radio, magazines. Now it's anybody with a blog, anybody with an Instagram page, anybody that can legitimately, demonstrate that they are somehow related to firearms media is out there too. And man, it's crazy. It's a circus from what I've seen. So, I don't know, man. It's kind of changed my opinion of it. Maybe as a bucket list item, it would be fun to go, but I'm more looking forward to the slightly slower pace of NRAM where you can actually talk to people.
Well, I mean, they're very similar animals. I would say that if you want a taste of SHOT Show, you go to NRAM.
Yeah.
And you think of it just a little bigger.
Yeah.
But I also think of SHOT Show as less busy than NRAM.
Oh, really?
Because NRAM, anybody and their brother can get into as long as you're a card holding member of the NRA.
This is true. Or join at the door,
Right.
Yeah.
Or what I like about NRA is that it's less for like industry guys, for me to go chat with my buddies. It's a little bit more relaxed for me to do that.
Sure.
Because they're paying less for their booth. They're dealing with retail customers versus major wholesale distributors or something like that. So their time is probably not as valuable.
Right.
So they can skip away for 10 minutes and maybe miss 2 retail sales versus skipping away for 10 minutes and missing a major distributor coming up to buy something or so on and so forth.
Right.
Just an example. I just find that it's a little bit more relaxed for us industry folks to get away, have conversations and go out and have a drink and have dinner and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoy NRA a little bit more, I think. But this was definitely this is my best shot year for sure so far.
Cool.
As far as business getting done and the relationships being built and so on and so forth. So yeah, it was good.
Awesome. Well, look forward to seeing that take off for you.
Yeah. Well, the NRA will be a good taste for you.
Yeah. We did the NRA show when it was in Nashville a couple of years ago and enjoyed it. And that was the last one I went to. So
what was that, the year before Kentucky?
Yeah, it was the year before Kentucky. Yeah, I heard that the folks that I know from here that went to the Kentucky show said that was a mess, and it was parking was a mess, and everything else was a mess.
It was just parking out in a field,
right.
And it had been raining, and then so everything got all muddy, and cars were getting stuck, and it was stupid.
Yeah. So Nashville has a very, very nice new convention center with a lot of underground parking, and so it was very easy to get in and out. Did that 2 days in a row. Which was fun. So I got to meet Arlie Army, the gunny, and one of the last opportunities to meet him before he unfortunately passed away last year. So that was super special. But yeah, it's fun. The kids enjoyed it, or my daughter enjoyed it. She was the only one that took, and wife enjoyed it. So we're looking forward to it. It's gonna be a family trip. Go up there and kick around, and hopefully meet up with some folks that listen to the show. And I'll throw it out there. I'd love to meet with some of the manufacturers and vendors and stuff too. So if you're listening and you'd like to get together with us, I'd be glad to carve away time. We can slip over into the media room or what have you and talk. So yeah, be willing to do some on-site interviews with folks too. Cool. Well, man, that time went by quick. Thanks for sharing your experiences at SHOT. I'm sure that the listeners enjoyed that as much as I did. Anything fun happening in the week ahead, or are you just kind of getting back into the swing of things with
I'm definitely getting back in the swing of things. So this week I'm kind of prepping. In-laws are en route. So my son's first birthday is next weekend. So
man coming up.
Yeah. So they're coming in from Michigan. And then we've got a big birthday party planned for him next weekend. So
awesome.
Pretty stoked for that. And I can't believe it's been a year already.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's funny. I didn't realize that we had kids that both had birthdays within a week of each other. That's fun.
Oh yeah. 2/18 is Sawyer's.
Yeah. Daughter's is today. So 1/31.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool, man. Well, I'm sure your family's glad to have you back. It's good to have you back on the show. Good to have you back, here with us. So
that's definitely something I look forward to.
Yep. Sweet. Well, I guess I'm going to mention real quickly a bit of a thing. And this is kind of like a bomb at the end of the episode. And we'll mention this again next time, probably at the front.
See how many people are listening. Right? If you stuck along this far, then you're about to hear something. You're about to hear a scoop that everybody else will hear maybe at the front of the episode next. But
Mark and I were talking about this. We're planning ahead for the year. We're going to start laying a blueprint for the show, subjects that we want to talk about, guests that we want to have on. We've already got a few guests in mind and some things, in the oven. We're trying to get these things baked, but they're going to be really exciting. Some really cool names that you'll recognize once we're able to announce it. So I'm jazzed about that. But format change, not much, but I think schedule change. So we may be doing more of a twice monthly, so like a bi-weekly release schedule instead of weekly. We talked about this the other night. We had a really fun and successful whirlwind of a first year in 2018. We nearly did a show every week, which was pretty freaking amazing. But we very much believe in quality over quantity. And I think by slowing the pace down just a little bit, we'll be able to put together better shows for you guys and more thoroughly research some things, especially when we have guests on. And it will also allow us some time to get together with the guests and really plan out and make use of our time together.
Prepare,
So
and the thing I was just sorry to interrupt.
No, go.
I just don't want to have a show just to have a show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
right.
if for something, 52 guests a year, that's a lot of work. You know what I mean?
Is.
And that's a lot of planning. It's a lot of preparation. We're doing questions. This isn't just like sit down and okay, we're going to wing it.
No, we take time for each one, right?
A good show.
Yeah.
And, you take a lot more time than me because you're doing all the editing afterward. But yeah, we just want to make sure that the content we're providing is the best that we can. And I think that if we just rush a show every single week, I think that's where we're going to sacrifice.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I want us to focus on quality. We also, I feel like we proved in 2018 the merit of the show and the value of the show and the viability of it, right? When we started this thing, we both maybe had the question, is there room at the table for another podcast about firearms? And from our listener feedback, the answer is yes, absolutely there is. And I would just say, I want people to get involved in activism on their own and evangelism on their own this year. Get out, contact your representatives and stuff like that I talked about in the last episode when it was just me recording. But I would say there's room. I would be excited to see somebody else do a podcast about firearms stuff because it gives me something to listen to on my drive into work. I don't always listen to the Shooters Nation podcast. I'd love to listen to yours next or, whoever you are out there. So, get involved. The water's, warm, jump in, take advantage of it, do something different and, take another spin on it. So anyway, we proved that it's viable and that we could be successful with it. And learned a lot last year. And I think one of the lessons I learned was, it's slowing down the pace is good. Releasing quality over quantity is better. And, at the same time, you're a busy guy. I'm a busy guy. And we just said it. Kids grow up so fast. I don't want to miss things with my family, just because we feel like we have to do a podcast every week. So I think twice a month, easily doable, better quality, probably happier hosts, less stressed out hosts, and
if we have extra stuff, you get an extra one.
That's right. We'll always slip something extra in there if we can. So anyway, that's kind of the thinking right now for the year ahead. So hope that doesn't wreck anybody's life or anything like that. But I can tell you that my kids are gonna be a little happy to have me back on some and. Some days that I might have otherwise been working on podcast stuff, but I know it will help us do a better quality show. And that's what I'm more excited about. So anyway, there you go. Mark, I guess, man, how do folks connect with you after the show if they want to?
Marketshootersnation.com.
That's right. I keep forgetting that email address. Why I emailed you something today and I sent it to your other address. And so I don't know. I'm silly.
Is that what it is? Market Shooters?
It is. It's Market Shooters Nation. Yeah. Shootersnation.com.
Yeah, marketshootersnation.com. Nobody's emailed me yet.
Yeah. Well, I'm David at shootersnation.com. Imagine that, right? Yeah, I'll email you something, man.
Thanks,
we email each other. Yeah. So kind of like going up the mailbox, opening it, there's nothing there. And it's like, why did I walk all the way to the mailbox? Cool. Well, so special thanks to our patrons who directly support the show and make future episodes possible. If you want to support the show, you can do that by visiting shootersnation.com and looking for the donate button. While you're there, head over to the Shooters Nation store. I mentioned this briefly in passing once before. The store now has winter stuff, fleece hats, fleece jackets, I think, maybe a vest or two. I don't know.
It's cold out there right now.
It's cold out there, right? I mean, golly, it's like, 11 degrees here today. So it's a great time to go jump on some of that stuff if you want it. We definitely want to hear from you. So while you're over at shootersnation.com, look for the ideal link, click it, tell us what you want us to talk about on the show in the year ahead. If you think about it, we might have 24 episodes, might have more than that, but let's make the best of them, folks. Let's really use them for something good. Tell us what you want us to talk about, who you want us to talk to. And of course, be sure to sign up for the Mail Blast mailing list while you're at shootersnation.com. As always, you can scoot by squaredawaycustoms.com, peruse the latest Kydex goodies from Mark and Corey and the gang at Squared Away Customs. Use the discount code, was it Shooters Nation, to save yourself a little bit of cheddar while you're over there.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. Keep Corey gainfully employed off the streets. Happy Corey making Kydex is a good Corey. So
yes.
Yeah.
And go to the Shooters Nation community closed group on Facebook.
Yes, definitely do
Ask
that.
to join. We'll get you approved. We are at exactly 75 members of the group right now.
Wow, that's more than I thought we had right now. That's cool.
When we hit 125, I'm giving away a Squared Away Customs gift certificate.
Sweet.
So get over there and join.
Very sweet. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, folks, do that. That's where we share memes. Lots of memes. I love memes. We'll always share memes, but more importantly, we talk about 2A stuff and what's going on. So, I try to personally drop little nuggets in there every once in a while whenever I see a good deal on something, and there you go. So sign up. It's fun. It's free. Do it now. Go there.
Mm-hmm.
Mark, it's good talking to you, man. Good to see you back.
You as well.
Yep.
You as well.
And I guess we will do this again soon.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks. In the meantime, be safe out there. Stay warm. We'll talk to you later.
The preceding segment was a production of the Shooters Nation podcast. Visit us online at shootersnation.com.